This is Jody Shirami, astropod_cast. How is everyone feeling today? Today is Thursday, November 14th. I'm starting my podcast a little early. And then I have a guest over here. As you can see right back there is our friendly neighborhood alligator. So I just thought, wow, what kind of timing is perfect. Welcome to my weekly astrology report from November 15th through the 22nd. And the wind is now starting to come in from the west, the beach side. As we spoke about last week, the full moon in Taurus is tomorrow on the 15th. And it meets up with Uranus. And then the sun opposes Uranus on Saturday, the 16th. And then on the 17th, Venus squares the north and south nodes. And then on Sunday, the 17th, we have Mercury beginning its pre-retrograde phase as it prepares to take a long retrograde in the sign that's in now, Sagittarius. It has moved to, I believe, about 24 degrees of Sagittarius. It's going to get to 26. Then it's going to travel back, Mercury, to the position it was in on the day after the U.S. election. So we're talking about a lot of action, no action, because Mars is in its pre-retrograde phase in Leo, and it is starting to nap. So all this stuff that's happening is in the air signs of Gemini, Aquarius, where action is starting to take place. Gemini has Jupiter. Jupiter is going to meet up with Mercury. And Jupiter and Mercury are in opposite signs. They're actually going to oppose each other. So the full moon occurs at 3:28 Eastern Time in America. And it's going to be a super full moon, so it's going to be extra bright. It's close to the Earth. Saturn also turns direct on the 15th as we prepare for Pluto to wake up on the 19th and shift into Aquarius for 20 years. So that is a big happening that is going to take time to adjust and feel and get all the feels from it. So, and also the moon, while it is full, opposite of the sun in Scorpio, it's also going to meet up with Uranus at 24 degrees. So the full moon's at 24 degrees, meeting up with Uranus at 24 degrees. And then the very next day on Saturday, the sun is going to oppose Uranus. So these are a lot of active movements inside of our values. And a lot of these things are internal that we can't really see, but we can feel. We feel the need to move, but it's not time to move yet because like Mars is stationing pre-retrograde. We really have to be mindful of our energy reserves because it is going to be retrograde for the whole month of December, pretty much. So we really need to get things done now, our ideas. We could be churning a lot of things over and over in our head, especially as Mercury prepares to retrograde in Sagittarius. And it's going to get all the way to 24 degrees or 26 degrees of Sag and move all the way to 6 degrees of Sag. And Mercury was at 6 degrees of Sagittarius the day after the U.S. election. So we are dealing with some very life-changing cosmic movements that we really have to rest and meditate on and try to see what's going on with that and how we feel, because we are dealing with a lot of issues that we may not want to deal with, especially with Pluto at the very end of Capricorn. And being at the end of Capricorn, Pluto is just ready to begin its residency in Aquarius. So the other thing that's happening is that Venus is going to be squaring the nodal axis on the 16th of this week. And the reason that's a big deal is that the nodes, as explained by many astrologers, represent the Maya, which is the three-dimensional world. So when Venus squares the nodal axis of Aries and Libra at 6 degrees, and Venus right now is in Capricorn at 6 degrees of Capricorn, and then the nodal axis are at 5.5 degrees of Libra and Aries. So here, from what I can feel, it's going to be this tension that we already are feeling, but the tension is going to be more pronounced within our collective. Everyone's going to feel it because the moon is how everyone's feeling at that time, wherever the moon's transiting. So we're all going to feel it very, very much. And a lot of astrologers have said that you should really use that day to be extra patient and kind with others, because it's when you're dealing with the nodal axis like Maya, the real world, and you're in your deep thoughts, and then the real world comes at you, it might be shocking. And that's what Uranus meeting up with the full super moon in Taurus is. And Taurus always arrives here every time of year opposite of the sun in Scorpio to ground us to what makes us human. You know, we need to eat food, we need water, we need shelter, right? The things to survive: shelter, food, fire. We need fire too. Um, Water, which goes with food. But these are things we may not think about every day because in our world, we have so much of it that it goes wasted. Food thrown out of restaurants, food thrown out of houses. And then there's people on the other extreme where they're starving. They have not any food, vitamins. And that's where I learned about the moringa. The moringa tree is a miracle tree that has extremely a lot of vitamins and good things for you. So if you haven't heard of moringa, look that up. Moringa powder you can put into your shakes in the morning and little things like that. Let's see if the alligator's still back there. Oh yeah, she's in the shade now, and she's surrounded by lots of birds out there. All kinds of cranes. So the full moon is already stirring up the ocean, and the sun is getting ready to go down in an hour with the time change. So tomorrow's full moon is right around 3:38, 3:28. So that's right around now, and you can already begin to feel that the winds are moving in. There's a hurricane happening down in Jamaica area. Hopefully it doesn't hit Florida. It's okay if it brings some rain. It hasn't rained since the last hurricane, so when you think about that, yeah, we could use a little rain, especially with all my new plantings that I'm doing back here. So when we get to Monday, the 18th, Mercury, like I was saying, would be opposite of Jupiter. So Mercury is in Sagittarius, and then Jupiter is in Gemini. So Mercury rules Gemini, the opposite sign of Sagittarius. And Jupiter rules Sagittarius, the opposite sign of Gemini, where Mercury rules. So they're in each other's sign, the furthest away they can be from their own sign. And in doing so, they're weak across the way from their own home, so they're weak. But because they're mutually in a freeway to each other's home abodes, they are affecting each other to really look deeply and see if what it is that you want in a partnership working and how you talk to each other. Because Sagittarius, again, with Mercury there, ruling over that, wants to talk, about all kinds of things, but mostly philosophy, education, politics, which is happening right now. And as it goes retrograde, we'll remember this point where it is opposite of Jupiter in Gemini. And what happens during that time will be revisited again when Mercury moves back here after it retrograde from 6 degrees or so of Sagittarius, where it's going to move back to. So that's why Mercury and Mars going retrograde right around the same time is going to really make it feel like there's a lot of churning, a lot of spinning, kind of like you're on your gym bike. You know, your bike in the gym where it doesn't go anywhere, your stationary bike, and you're just there and they're talking. You're going up a mountain, you're going up a mountain. Start pumping hard on you. So that's what it's going to be like for you, is that it's going to be all this talk, but maybe nowhere to go. So we really want to do something. It's, you know, we're already getting ready to go in the pre-retrograde Mercury phase this week. So if you really want to do something, now's the time to plan it and, you know, and hopefully works out. But with this full moon, I do expect a lot of rain, more flooding, so that's why I wouldn't be surprised if that hurricane down in Cuba and Dominican Republic or Mexico does make it into the Gulf and cause a little bit of wind, bring the water up onto the coast, possibly with a little rain. So that's what we're probably going to be preparing for next week, is coastal flooding, possibly again, with just the amount of wind that pushes up the waves. It's absolutely mind-boggling when you see it. You know. Oh, she's still sitting there. She has her mouth slightly open, so not sure what's going on. If she just ate something and now it's rusting. I don't know. So let's go talk about Pluto stationed direct in Capricorn, and then now moving into Aquarius on the 19th, which is next Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday. And Saturn also turns direct in Pisces at that exact same day, not exact same time, but pretty much the same day. And so Mercury at that time will also be trining Chiron in Aries. So Mercury in Sagittarius will be trining, which is a nice, easy conversation with Chiron, the personal healer. So you might want to really start thinking about your health and taking care of yourself, which I've had a kind of a rude awakening in Florida with that. I haven't been in the heat in so long, and the last time I was in the heat, I got a rash, and it turns out there's a thing called COVID rash, and I did have a rash on my face and neck during COVID. But I came down here and I think I got COVID, and the rash came back. So it's not like debilitating, but it doesn't feel good, you know. So I kind of have to be careful. See, there's a little bit of it there. You know, it's not like horrible, but it's just itchy. And I've been to see an herbalist that's helping me. So Pluto in Aquarius will be there until it goes into Pisces in 2043. And I believe it'll probably advance in and then retrograde back again in Aquarius. So not until 2043 do we get the Pisces thing. But the big thing is that there's going to be a shift in the nodal axis of the moon. It's going into Pisces Virgo axis, with Pisces at the top and Virgo at the bottom. So with Pisces at the top, which is what we're going to be seeing here, with Pluto going to Aquarius, and Neptune is also getting ready to wake up. So Neptune here is very happy in Pisces, but it also is getting ready to move into Aries in 2026, I believe. So with this Pisces in the future, 19, 20 years from now, the same time as Pluto's moving into Aquarius with the nodal axis occurring next year, we will begin to get a preview of what Pluto will be doing in Pisces leading up to all that the next 19 years, like we had a chance to see as it went in and out of Aquarius while it's been in Pluto since 2008. So when you think about that, you can see that there's always clues and things showing you what's going to happen in the world if you pay attention. And sometimes I would say that a lot of that is premonition, or as some people would say, the mentalist, the person who pays attention to things occurring in the world that repeats or coincides with certain other events happening to you personally, to the world. And it's just some people have that kind of mental thing going on, and a lot of us that do end up in astrology, because astrology is the only thing that can kind of explain what it is we feel or have the intuition, or something's making us think a certain way, and it explains it a lot better than other things. It's kind of like studying history, because history is looking at patterns. When you study the stock market, you study the candlesticks, you study trends, you study things. You know what's different now, what's the variable now. So these are scientific type minds, and everything that has to do with astrology has to do with math, geometry, alchemy, things being explained through the degrees, 30 degrees, every sign has 30 degrees, and it's being explained, every degree what the point means when you're born there. So everything has to do with that. It all comes back to some kind of a logical, mathematical reasoning. Otherwise, the human mind can't possibly grasp what's going on. You know? So here we go. There's some serious wind coming in from that hurricane. I think it's Hurricane Sarah. So that would be very interesting. As Pluto shifts into Aquarius and the moon is in Leo, it will have its first opposition. The moon in Leo opposite of Pluto in Aquarius. Again, we're going to get a sneak peek, and that's happening on the 20th, the day after Pluto gets in there and is really at that first degree. It's not at the very end of the 29th degree, 59 seconds, 99, whatever. So this means it's going to actually be there on the 20th. And so Rick Levine says this is a stabilizing energy. And how does that, when it's the opposite of each other, right? But in order to balance, you have to have 2 points to balance. So you have Leo here, Aquarius here, and Pluto's here, and the moon's here. So they're balancing our emotions, because Pluto's slow, but gives you a sense of stability because it is slow. And people want change. You always want change. It's not like tremendous change all at once, but you just never know what's going to happen with Uranus involved. It could be a bunch of things happening. And this is a collective, the moon and Leo. And as we know, the moon's going to retrograde in Leo and Cancer. So again, this is another preview. Pay special attention to what you're feeling, what your gut is saying for you to do. If you want to act on something, this is time to act. The universe is open for daring, because Uranus. And with Pluto and Aquarius, innovation, especially for people, groups of people. So there's all kinds of things if you use the energy correctly. And on the 21st, the sun moves into Sagittarius. So we start Sagittarius, and as the sun moves into Sag, it's going to join Venus, who's also in Sagittarius. I mean, Mercury is also going to join Mercury. He's also in Sagittarius. And the sun with Mercury Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. It is also rules the ancient rule of Pisces. It is limitless. Things can go on and on. Your ideas can be off the wall, tons of them. Pay attention to those because they could be really the next big thing. You just don't know. And also, Venus, the next day on the 22nd, when I'll be back again, is going to be trining Saturn at 12 degrees in the morning. And that is a big deal. Venus trining Saturn is also another stability signal for us from the universe saying, fear not, I'm here, I'll take care of you. You know, like when you're on the roller coaster or something, you want to know that your seatbelts are all buckled and that someone is going to turn off that roller coaster so you can get off, right? And so that's where the Venus-Saturn thing is going to come in. Sounds like my neighbor's dog's out across the way. So then the sun's going to trine Pluto. Venus is going to be trining Saturn at the same time. And the Virgo moon will be squaring the sun in Sagittarius. So the stability is needed because the Virgo moon squaring the sun on the 22nd is going to be very unstable in terms of the moon is the collective. So you want precise, you want health, you want things like that. But the sun's in Sagittarius saying, oh, who cares about all that? We're not going to live forever anyway, so who cares? So that's where we're at with that coming up. And I will be back next week. Let's see if you can see my neighbor. She's still out there getting a nice little tan. What? There's really some stuff going around out here. So we're going to have to get our house ready again for probably some more storms. Tie up my curtain like that all around. So this is Florida living. And we're really blessed. Thank you, God. Thank you for being here. I'll be back next week. And take it easy. Really pay attention to your intuition, messages, whatever. But really pay attention and listen. Tomorrow night, that's why I did my podcast early today, was that tomorrow I'm going to be going to the beach to watch the full moon because it's going to be so full. It's going to look like it's on the ocean, I hope. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. So I just wanted to get this done today and get it out tomorrow on time. Hopefully it'll be out early enough to where you guys can hear this before the full moon. So I really appreciate you being here, and really, really I thank you. And again, my rates are for a half hour, $150, $100. For an hour, it's $250. For a year, it's $3,000, and that's 4 weekly meetings, or however you want to do those 4 meetings. And I'm always available if you just want to text me or write me on Instagram at astropod_cast. On my YouTube page, feel free to email me. And I'm here for you during this time of unstable energy. And really pay attention with the Taurus full moon to your money, the economy. Pay attention to the Uranus part of it. It could bring you riches, or it could do the other thing, bring you bankruptcy. So pay extra attention to that. Get those in order, especially before the nodal axis moves into Pisces and Virgo. Because Virgo is about taking care of your everyday affairs, and it'll be on the south node, meaning things we have to release. And Pisces will be the north node at the beginning of next year in January. And that will be about spirituality. Because as things shift into the air sign and the fire sign, things are going to move quickly and passionately and with a lot of energy, especially after Mars takes its long nap and Leo wakes back up and it starts to zoom, zoom, zoom around again. Things are going to pick up big time. So take this time of a little bit quietness and stillness, because Pluto is very slow moving, so you have plenty of time to adjust to Pluto's energy. And then when the station's direct, when any huge planet station's direct, it's giving off a lot of energy because it has to stop and then start moving again, right? So really pay attention to your emotions and be kind with the stability here of Venus and Saturn meeting up. Be kind to others, especially to yourself. And really, this is your chance to do what you want to do for yourself. This is what the North Node in Aries has been for you to recognize yourself and your needs, and not always giving to other people, because it's really easy to, especially with your mom, so it's good to give to yourself. So thank you, and I'll be back next week. God bless you. Mwah. Bye.